Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you for coming. Welcome to this workshop. Today we will explore how EDF places nuclear safety and skills development at the heart of its training strategy. This title, Nuclear Safety First, Skills Always, comes from discussions with our field teams. It reflects our belief that skills must evolve continuously to keep a high level. Let me briefly introduce myself. I'm Tugdual Baujard. I work for EDF for 25 years now. I was shift manager, instructor on a simulator, and a national training program designer and coordinator. And my dear colleague, Yann.
Thank you. So good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Yann Gautheran. I have already 26 years of experience, mainly in operations and international cooperation.
We are part of UFPI, UFPI in French, Unité de professionnalisation à la performance industrielle, which is the central technical training organ of EDF. This workshop is for us an opportunity to share our vision and our principles. Today we'll explore how EDF integrates nuclear safety and skills in training strategy. Here is our agenda, who we are. Nuclear safety is the core of our professional excellence, and how we pursue the excellence in training. We have structured this session to take you from big picture to go down to the practical methods we use every day. As I said, UFPI is, as I said before, it's a training arm of EDF, and we cover technical domains and human factors domains. Our clients are EDF group entities, all the EDF group entities with technical needs. We provide training in France and abroad for existing power plants and equally for new builds. Internationally, we supported projects in countries like Belgium, South Africa, United Kingdom, and in each case, we try to adapt to local context, and while maintaining the high standard of safety, the EDF safety standards. More than 80% of our activity is on nuclear sector, and the remainder is hydraulic and fossil fuel energy. Here are some key figures about UFPI. As you can see here, we have more than 700 trainers, and each year it's about 1,500 courses which are provided by more for about 200,000 trainees. So each year it's very important. So now let's take a look at the core foundations of our training design and delivery. Basically, training is built on 4 pillars. The first one is excellence, because striving for high standards helps us stay ahead of risks. The second one is expertise, because deep knowledge is essential to take good decisions. Third one is vigilance, because safety depends on our ability to anticipate and to question. And the last is trust. We believe that people need to feel confident to speak up and to act responsibly. These values guide us daily while designing and while delivering trainings. And now I hand over to Jan for the presentation of our training circles.
So thanks, Tugdual. Thanks, everybody, for being here. So that was an excellent overview of our foundations. And now we would like to explain to you, very simply, our path to excellence, how we try to reach excellence in training. So first of all, let me introduce our method. Our method is not new, it's IAEA's systematic approach to training method, which is quite standard, which is very well known. It's a PDCA cycle. Basically, it aims to deliver training in a processed way and in a structured way, in order to have relevant, structured, and continuously adapted training. So this is the approach we will go in deep for on each stage. It's five key steps ranging from the initial training needs, SAT1, to the evaluation for continuous improvement. So this method is comprehensive, very powerful, and at EDF it's applied to most of our safety-sensitive jobs. That's EDF method. It's our. Different is not wrong. Maybe in your company you have other method. So let's go through the step one, and I will try to highlight these steps with an example. So the step one is the analysis. So in this step, what we do is we have the plant organization with a list of jobs, and we have an in-depth description of each job, with a list of activities that people have to perform on site. We also integrate. We have a requirement. Here you can see the general inspectorate requirement. So we integrate in this analysis phase results of our general inspectorate. You can also see a snapshot of our software. We have a unique software in which we integrate all operating experience from very low-level event to safety significant event, and we make a continuous analysis of this event to know whether it's worth being integrated in a training or not. For every good nuclear operators, you have a regulator, and we have a regulator who is ASNR in France. So ASNR provides guidelines, but also inspections. And the results of this inspection is analyzed by us to make sure that we can integrate what our regulator wants us to integrate in the training. We also have a very important part, which is the international OPEX. So we work a lot with the World Association of Nuclear Operators, WANO, and we make sure that we integrate the SOER, the significative operating experience reports. So we make sure that in our loop, all WANO OPEX is integrated in the training. So basically with that, we have a required key SA, so knowledge, skills, and attitude, and that is the first part of the SAT1 analysis. I will take an example to try to highlight this because that's process-based. For example, when you recruit a control room operator, let's say a control room operator is newly recruited, and in his job description, in the job description, he must be capable, I will read it, it's important, he must be capable of safely operating a nuclear reactor and adjusting its power level to match the grid's demand. Comprehensive one. That's a very good task analysis. Let's try to see what are the key essays associated to this task description. So for that, he must have a solid understanding of core physics. That's the key, understanding of core physics. He must also be able to manage core reactivity during transient, up and down. That stands for the skill, the ability to do. And then the first steps, you need to apply human error reduction tools, just to make sure you do it the right time the first time. That's the attitude. So with this example, you have the key essay of the SAT1 analysis. So with that, we will move to the SAT2. So SAT2 is the first step of design of the training. So these key essays, which are big one, the role of the training instructor or the training designer is to define smart training objectives, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This is very important for assessment at the end. So in this phase, we also identified the teaching methods, resources, and tools needed. You see in the previous presentation that we have many tools available for that. And then we will define as well the exam method. Is it classroom exam? Is it an exam on the simulator? Something else? So let's go back to our control room operator, the newly hired. So during this design phase, we have the key essay, and probably, it's not probably, that's the case in reality, we will identify the full scope simulator as the most effective tool to deliver this training and to make sure that the control room operator will know how to operate a reactor. So we identify these tools, and we will build tailor-made, really tailor-made scenarios in normal operations, abnormal operations, and sometimes accidental operations. And so we will ensure that with that all the key essays will be addressed. So the third part is a crucial one. In EDF, and in general in the training, we have a mix of contributors for this phase with different stakeholders. So we have the equipment provider. Sometimes when we make a huge modification on the station, we involve the equipment provider who knows the equipment, and sometimes the initial training is delivered by the equipment provider or the NPP supplier. And then they hand over the training to us. We also involve NPP operators. The operators have the knowledge, they have the experience, and it's really fundamental to involve these operators in the training design. So that's important because it will develop the expertise, the infamous expertise of our pillars. If we go back to our control room operator, to design the training on reactivity management, for sure, the trainer who will design the training will be in touch with the core specialist on each nuclear power plant. We have a core specialist, and we make sure, for example, that we have the good data, core data, we have the good procedures, we have the good OPEX. So in this phase, very important, we have the expertise. So now, important phase, the most important phase, the implementation of training. We would like to focus on people. We have you saw 700 people, 700 trainers, and the specificities that we want trainers connected to the field. So we have trainers coming from the station. They come to our division for a 5 to 6 years contract, and they deliver their expertise in the training center, and then they go back to the real plant. So it's part of their professional path. We want them to be not to be disconnected from the field. So they go regularly on a regular basis. They go back to the station to support the operators, and then they go back to the training center to deliver and so they know and they share the expertise. So it's important to know that for our control room operator training, that the trainer is a previous control room operator with sometimes 10 to 15 years of experience. So he has a strong credibility as a trainer. He has practical insight as well, and it allows him to deliver the right message with impact and authenticity. So, but now we want them, and for the last 3 to 4 years, we want to have another step in the training delivery. With the support of WANO, the World Association of Nuclear Operators, for the last 3 years, we have been developing, let's say, a leadership program for our trainers to develop their leadership in order for them to turn from lecturers, they know, they deliver their knowledge, much more to coach. Because we want them to coach, meaning encourage, reinforce good practices, and also reinforce expectations. So this work, we have started that with Tugdual 3 years ago. It's an ongoing process. We have to change also the mentality. We have to change the way we deliver training. And honestly, our trainers like it very much, to be considered as coach more than lecturers. So the last step, not the best one for our trainees. The last step of our journey to excellence is assessment or evaluation. So to wrap up with our control room operator example, we must ensure that at the end of the training, he has the right capacities, knowledge, and capabilities. So they are assessed. They have an assessment. They have an assessment in real condition. They are in the full scope simulator. They have a scenario. They don't know the scenario before. And they have to operate the plant with the scenario given by the trainer. So they don't like it very much, but that's the game. The game is to be evaluated. So success to this evaluation is a prerequisite for the license to operate. The particularity for EDF, it's an internal process. It's process. We have specific trainers who are evaluators with a specific license, and it's an internal process. No, the regulator is not involved in this process. However, this process is conducted independently and ensuring fairness and consistency across the fleet. We have 19 nuclear power plants, and we must ensure that this process is relevant and fair and consistent throughout the fleet. So we have a specific license to evaluate. So we evaluate the trainees. That's the first part. So either summative evaluation, classroom evaluation, or simulator-based evaluation. Each safety-sensitive training is evaluated. And for the power control room operators, every 2 years, he has refresher training and another assessment. So every 2 years, he goes to the simulator and is evaluated. And if he fails, it can be complicated for his license to operate. We also, in this part, evaluation part, the step number 5, so we assess trainees, so we make sure that our training is relevant with that. If everybody fails, maybe we have a problem with our training. But we also assess the full process once a year. So that's what you can see on that slide, the relevance, and that's part of Tugdual's job. Every year, he has his client says, I'm happy, I'm not happy, and why? So his job is to listen to the client. So our client is EDF, nuclear generation division. And we listen to our client, and they make feedback. And we try to improve. No, not we try, we do improve. Let's be positive. We improve the training every year. So that's, I just explained to you, I just demonstrate this loop of training. And you can say 1 year, it's very long. It's quite long to develop an initial training or a refresher training. And sometimes a nuclear operator needs training really quickly. So we will focus for this last part of the workshop on the short loop. 5 minutes left, perfect. So long loop, very strong, very relevant. We make sure that everything is under control. But sometimes, as I told you, a nuclear operator needs to refresh a critical skill just before a critical phase. For example, a unit outage. An outage is a very important phase, and we must make sure that all safety-sensitive activities, all transients, are done right the first time. So we have developed just-in-time training, what I call the short loop. You will see why short loop. And we start from operational needs. So in local, Tugdual talks a lot with corporate level. And in local, I talk with my counterparts of operation. And they just say, we need, for example, we need criticality. We need a training on criticality because it's very safety sensitive. We have not done that for 2 or 3 years. And we need to refresh that skills within 2 months. So that's in general a requirement. So we need agile instructional design, so training design. So we have training centers on each nuclear power plant, and we have instructors able to listen locally and to develop agile instructional design. So in this case, we provide just-in-time training. So here in the bottom, you see simulator training, but we also provide training on mock-ups. We have mock-ups, full size, small size, and that's really important. And this short loop, we aim to have it within 2 months. So sometimes it's 1 week, sometimes it's the day before, but the reference is within 2 months. We are able, in outage schedule, we are able to identify the safety critical part and to develop trainings. So, thank you for your attention. We've been through quickly, within 25 minutes, we've been quickly through our process, the training process of EDF. We have seen our foundations, we have seen our approach, which is quite structured. We have seen also that we are very close to our operator. We must be close to our operator. Our trainers must be grounded. And, but our goals in all this process remains the same. For us, training department is to support safe and reliable performance across the fleet. So thank you for your attention. Now we are open for some questions in the room next door. Thank you very much.